I ready to go?
Yes.
Right. Hello everyone, I'm here today at Woodhouse Moor to chat to three lovely ladies who all love parkrun. Anne, Zeni and Lizzie. Anne.
Sue, hello.
Hello.
Good to see you.
You're the event director at Woodhouse,
I most certainly am.
so maybe I can start by asking you to explain what parkrun is and how it all started at Woodhouse.
Well, just to say that Woodhouse Moor was the site of the first parkrun outside of London. So we've been going 12 years this year, and I can just tell you that there is a groove around the park made by the hundreds and thousands of parkrunners that run here each week, well, or did run here each week before COVID.
And what is parkrun for people who don't know?
So parkrun, first of all, is free. It's a timed 5-kilometre run around the park. And in Leeds, we now have, gosh, seems to go up every week. We have about 10 parkruns now in Leeds. And you just sign up on the website. You get a very nice barcode, and that will register you for any parkrun anywhere in the world. Of course, Leeds is the best parkrun to come to, obviously.
Yes, definitely it is, yes. So what is the infamous muddy corner at Woodhouse?
So all parkruns are 5 kilometres, and Woodhouse Moor Parkrun has a special edition which we call the Muddy Corner, which today is impacted soil. It's not muddy at all. So normally we run around these lovely paths which have just been re-tarmacked. Thank you, Leeds Council. And but part of it is actually running out of the park. I don't know if you can see behind me, but we run down here and onto the pavement outside the park, and then back into the park down near the roller skating place. And that's just a little bit of downhill with trees and roots, and if we're lucky, some mud. People love that actually. So you run down there, try not to fall, and then you're back on the path there. So if you're doing a 5-kilometre parkrun, you do the Muddy Corner twice.
And what is the Red Welly relay?
So everybody, we all have a nice little run around our parkrun each week, hopefully. And we're also here, by the way, Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So you can run 54 times a year here. Some people can't get enough of their parkrunning, and you often see people running here even when it's not parkrun time. Once a year, after the parkrun, we have a relay which is boys versus girls, and it's called the Red Welly Relay. Now, those of you who've been to this park a few times will notice that at the Clarendon Road entrance there's a statue of the Duke of Wellington, and some wag has painted his Wellingtons red. So once a year, we in honour of those red wellies, we have a pair of teeny tiny red wellies which are our batons, and the boys versus the girls around the park in 2 teams of 20. Is it 20? I'm not very good with my sums. 25. And it's handicapped, and I'm afraid the boys have beaten the girls the past couple of years, but when it comes back this time, the girls are going to thrash the boys, is all I can say.
They put ringers in.
They put ringers, they absolutely do. You run 200 metres with your red welly, and you hand it over as a baton to the next person. And that's it. And it's good fun, and the girls are going to win this year.
Yes. Yeah. So what do you love most about Woodhouse Parkrun, and why is this location so special?
So Woodhouse, as I've already said, one of the oldest in the world, and also really popular. Woodhouse Moor, as a park, Hyde Park as we know it, it was built to be the green lungs of Leeds, and that's what it is. It's just a lovely park with lots of mature trees, and you can walk here, run here, have your picnic here, just come and hang loose here, and that's what I love about it. It's just a great place to spend some time. As a parkrun, it makes me smile because the Guardian newspaper readers chose it as one of the most 10 most picturesque in the world. Now, that's very complimentary. I think it's stretching it a bit, really. You know, you're up against some places that are absolutely stunning, but it's just a great place to be because of the friendliness of the people. And our park runners, we've got so many wonderful park runners, so friendly, and we just all seem to get along together, and that's why I love it.
Lizzie,
Hello.
ask you a few questions. You're a regular park runner at Woodhouse. How did you first get involved in running a park run?
So, first get involved in running, I think was because my lads were swimming for the City of Leeds, and I had to spend a lot of time sitting in swimming pools.
In swimming pool?
Well, I mean, obviously on the side of it, not in it, because that would be a bit wet. But I spent a lot of time, and that was up at Middleton Woods, and so I decided to do a little bit of exploring. So I did kind of run walking. I felt I'd achieved something by running about 200 metres. You know, I'm not naturally, you know, a runner. I hadn't done it very much before that. And my husband had done parkrun for ages, and he went every week, and I was like, oh no, I think partly because I thought I would be rubbish. And then I got a bit of confidence up, I think, from just running on my own around the parks, and so I turned up at Woodhouse Moor. I think it was literally about 3 weeks before my 50th birthday, and I thought I'd probably like to try doing something a little bit different, you know, a bit of a challenge, and so that's how I appeared here. I think it was in September, about 3 or 4 years ago. I think that was what you asked me.
Yes. I was just going to say, turning up for your first park run can be nerve-wracking. What would you say to anyone who's never run before?
Honestly, I would just do it because I don't really like to have many regrets, but I wish I'd come sooner. I wish I'd listened to what Peter said to me and said, you'll really like it, because when I got here, A, it was incredibly friendly, B, it didn't matter if I walked it, or I walked it and I ran it a little bit, or I ran the whole lot, or I was at the back or in the middle or the front. I mean, clearly not the front, but you know. But, you know, so if I'd known that, I would have come sooner. But knowing that has meant that I think I've done about 50 a year for the last 3 years. So I've been very religiously coming to them because I just discovered how much I loved it. I made lots of amazing friends as well, like these characters next to me.
And the thing is, you can walk as well. So
yes.
People, if they wanted to come and just walk to start with, they've been walking. We've got a tail walker, so no one's ever masked.
And I've walked it.
The course will still be here when you finish. It's not like you're going to come in.
And I have walked it when I was injured a bit, and I walked it with a dog at the back, and that was quite a lovely experience because it was really lovely just to sort of chat and see people running it, a different experience. So I didn't feel like I missed out on that. I felt I just did it a bit differently.
Yes.
And that's quite nice.
How do you get the motivation to run the park run?
Right. Now that's an interesting one, because my motivation has also been informed by the fact that I got the running club in Hyde Park Harriers, a local running club here, and I got their place for the London Marathon, which only just last week is now gone on to a virtual marathon, and I'm moving to doing it next year. But I had a slight motivation that I had to keep my miles going, because I was running 26 miles, which I've never. So I did that, and also because it's so much part of what I do now. To not do it is harder than doing it. So it's now, I have done it. I'm not a park run. I've designed my own from my house, and I've done it every Saturday morning, 6 park run. In fact, I think I might just park run as a route. Goes behind me with the farm, up to cycle pass. It's really lovely, and now you would really have to do it. But it's all of that. But it takes a bit of nice bit of countryside as well, which is lovely, you know, and something you can do and things quite well.
volunteering, why should people be involved? You're a runner and a volunteer.
So yeah, when I started doing parkrun in about 2017 in Manchester when I was at uni. I started off as just a runner, but then over time I realised that there were actually quite a few things that I could do as a volunteer as well. So I started off as a marshal, and then I progressed to some of the more technical roles, such as say timekeeping, or handing out tokens or barcode scanning, and eventually with the help of Anne and with the core team at Woodhouse Moor, when I moved to Leeds, I progressed to becoming a run director, role which involves doing the run briefing and processing the results. So I'd say what's great about volunteering is that you can just make so many friends from it, and you can turn up at 8:15 and help get the equipment out, and there's so much you can do with volunteering. So you can do, if you're not confident with the technical roles, you can do some marshalling, or you can do some of the more technical things, and there's always support handy. So if you're not sure about something, there's always someone who can give you some support with it. And another thing that I'd say is that even if you've not volunteered before, it's really good just to come and get involved and give it a go. And I think some people maybe don't realise that it's possible to volunteer and also run. But there's some volunteering roles, like say token sorting, or some of our faster runners can do a bit of barcode scanning after their run. So it's definitely possible to incorporate both. And I think some people maybe don't realise that, but it's a really good way of getting to know people.
And then there's always the coffee and cake
Yes.
afterwards, isn't it? They always meet at the cafe, and it's
So
a good way to get to know other people and to build up friendships.
I think opposite cafes always being one of my favourite parts of parkrun is that everyone just goes to the cafe afterwards, and it always gets a bit crowded and it gets a bit noisy. But the coffee is always really good, and you can just sit with your friends and maybe make some new friends as well. And there's volunteering roles that happen in the cafe as well. So some of us do token sorting or results processing in the cafe. So it's not just based at the park, although a lot of it is. You can pretty much, if you're that way inclined, you can pretty much spend a whole morning with parkrun related activities on a Saturday, which I think for me has been so good at just getting me out of the house and getting me involved with people. I think particularly because I only moved to Leeds a couple of years ago, but it feels like I've been here forever because I've just got so involved with everything.
Yeah, so you don't have to be a runner to,
No,
to volunteer at all.
Absolutely not.
So many benefits.
Quite a number of our regular volunteers, both past and sort of current and future, aren't particular runners, or maybe they've started off as a volunteer. So quite a number of the volunteers that we get are actually part of the Duke of Edinburgh scheme, and they'll start off doing a sort of volunteer placement for say 10 to 12 weeks, and then they'll decide, either they'll decide, I really like volunteering, I'm just going to keep going, or they'll start running as well. So I think volunteering has that potential to sort of bring people in from a very wide variety of backgrounds, and ultimately they might decide that it's something that they want to keep in their lives for quite a long time. So it's very inclusive.
Yes, because there are so many benefits of being part of the parkrun community. And what's your favourite thing about parkrun, and what impact has it had on you?
I think there's a lot of things that I love about parkrun, and it's helped me in so many different ways. And I think some of the people that I'm friends with at parkrun don't realise how much of a positive impact they've had on me. I love coming on Saturday, and I think even in the weeks when I've not really been in the mood to come to parkrun, or I've not really fancied it, I've always tried to make the effort to come down anyway, just because I know that I'll always, pre-COVID, I'd always get loads of hugs from people, and even now not having, still have loads of support from people. And I think that is my favourite thing about parkrun, is that even if you come down and you're not really in a very good mood, or you're not really feeling it, you can come down and you can guarantee that someone's going to be there to give you some words of support, encouragement. And I think as well, what's great is that when I started doing parkrun, I wasn't really slow, but equally I wasn't as fit as I am at the moment. And I started off and I was very, very lacking in confidence, and I didn't really see what running was all about, and I've never really done any sports since secondary school. Whereas I've progressed from that to being a bit more of a runner, so I've joined a running club and done a lot more things with running. But at each stage of my personal journey with that, there's same level of support, so there's no judgment. If you're one of the faster runners, that's great. If you're not one of the faster runners, if you take a bit longer over your park run, that's fine as well. So whatever your level of ability and however often you come to park run, however much you want to get involved, there's something there for you to get involved with. There's no judgment, it's very inclusive. And I think with the inclusive side, I think we've got so many different types of people that come down. We've got people from different like ethnic groups, from different ages. We've got 90-year-olds doing parkrun. We've got people with different abilities who just all come down and go for a coffee. So it feels like it's something for everyone. And hopefully you can still hear me. So yeah, I just love parkrun, and I'm looking forward to when it starts up again. But I think even though I miss doing the parkrun, I think what's really great is that the parkrun community and particularly the team of friends I've had has maintained itself during the lockdown, and we've found really innovative ways of staying connected and supporting each other. So I think that's a testament to how great that spirit is, really.
Yes, because we have a Zoom meeting on Saturday mornings if we were in the cafe, so we still have to maintain that. So even though we're drinking our own coffee and eating our own cakes, we're still having that community, so it's been very, very good. Right. So, we're looking at Woodhouse Moor, which are the parks in Leeds do you like?
I live in Hyde Park, and I'm mostly a Woodhouse Moor person, but I do love, obviously I love the Ridge and Meanwood Farm, even though there's not a park on there. And another favourite of my parks is actually St Newton Park in the sort of Hare Hills, Chapeltown area of Leeds. And I think what I love there is, even though it's really hilly, I love it there because it's almost on the fringe of several very, very different communities. So you've got very different types of people living there, and it brings together a very diverse range of people. And often they'll have sort of festivals in the park, or they'll have events there. So it's always really nice to walk through St Newton. Equally, obviously, Roundhay for its beauty and for its brilliant running routes around there as well. And the park is lovely up there. It's quite a popular one as well. But I think we're very lucky in Leeds because we have got, I live really near the city centre. I can be in green space within sort of 15-20 minutes, and I do feel so lucky to have that. And I think we've got the best of both worlds, really. So yeah.
So you would definitely encourage anybody who wanted to give parkrun a go to come along
Absolutely.
and join in.
I would say, for me, when I started parkrun, it was at the start of a journey for me, and it's helped me so much with not only my physical health but also with my friendships and with my mental health. And as I said before, and the others have reiterated, obviously there's absolutely no judgment, there's no sort of limit to who can get involved. If you want to walk the parkrun, if you feel like you're not confident enough to run it, or some people's aim isn't to run it. And I think sometimes there's a perception that your ultimate goal should be to run the whole thing. But that's actually not the goal for some people. Some people simply want to do a walk, and that's absolutely fine. And you'll never be excluded from it. So the parkrun course will never be packed away until the final person comes in. And we always have a tail walker as well. So you're never last. There's always a tail walker, and I think that's a really important message to people, because I think personally for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, there's always that fear of, but what if I come last? And that's something that people really don't like, that idea. So I think it's really important to point out that we always have a tail walker, so they will come last, so you'll never feel as though you're being left behind on a course. And the marshals will always stay out until the last person's come through the right amount of time. So it's inclusive for everyone.
Yes, exactly. So it doesn't matter. Don't worry about how slow you might be. Just come along and get involved.
I think one final thing that's lovely actually is that often the faster runners will finish their run, and then they'll come back up the course and do another lap, or they'll come back up the finishing stretch and cheer people on. And I think that's really, really lovely. It's just that even if you've finished your run in like 20 minutes, you're still in the park and you're still supporting people who are running. And I just think that's so lovely, isn't it? What other event does that happen? It's wonderful.
Right, well thank you for talking to us, everybody, and sharing your thoughts about parkrun and Woodhouse Moor. It's been pleasure to hear about the difference parkruns made to everybody, and I look forward to seeing everyone running again soon.